Beatriz Soares, an eccentric millionaire who made her fortune with a line of organic cosmetics, decides to return to her hometown, Serra Azul, for a charity event. After years living in New York, she arrives full of style and sarcasm, accompanied by her loyal assistant, Gustavo. Beatriz has always had a sharp tongue and a peculiar sense of humor, making her a polarizing figure. During a town party, Beatriz reunites with Eduardo, her first love. Eduardo, now a charming and easygoing farmer, is the complete opposite of Beatriz: simple, calm, and strange. Eduardo is always dodging town parties and has a tendency to disappear on full moon nights. Beatriz, ever curious and sarcastic, decides to investigate on her own. With her curiosity piqued, Beatriz begins to follow Eduardo on his nocturnal outings. On one of these nights, she finds him in the middle of the forest, transformed into a werewolf. Instead of feeling scared, Beatriz bursts into laughter, thinking it's an elaborate prank to lure her back to rural life. Eduardo, with no way out, reveals that he really is a werewolf, and that this condition has been passed down from generation to generation. Beatriz, amused and sarcastic as always, decides that this is the touch of eccentricity her life needs. She suggests that Eduardo turn this curse into a tourist attraction for the town. The plan is met with skepticism, but the idea of a good-natured werewolf attracting tourists is irresistible. The news that Serra Azul has a werewolf spreads, and the town begins to receive curious and eccentric tourists. Eduardo, still somewhat reluctant, starts to get used to the idea of being an attraction, especially with Beatriz by his side, always ready to turn any situation into a joke. Comedic moments multiply, with Eduardo trying to be a scary werewolf and failing miserably. Not everything is laughter in Serra Azul. Rodolfo, a childhood rival of Eduardo, is determined to expose the werewolf's secret as a fraud to ruin the tourist plan. He is a resentful ex-lover of Beatriz, unable to accept that she chose Eduardo. Rodolfo sets several hilarious traps to unmask Eduardo, but ends up becoming the town clown with each failed attempt. Beatriz organizes a grand full moon festival to celebrate Eduardo's special nature. During the festival, Eduardo is kidnapped by Rodolfo, who plans to reveal him to the world during his transformation. Beatriz, with her wit and sense of humor, devises an elaborate plan to rescue Eduardo, involving tourists and townspeople in a series of comedic escapades. With the help of Gustavo and the inhabitants of Serra Azul, Beatriz orchestrates a comic rescue that includes ridiculous disguises, hilarious misunderstandings, and a talent show featuring everything from dancing to magic. In the tensest moment, Eduardo transforms. But instead of scaring, he ends up charming the crowd with his lupin antics. Rodolfo, in his final attempt to expose Eduardo, falls into his own trap and becomes the laughingstock. Amid the confusion, Beatriz discovers something surprising. She is also a werewolf, but her transformation only happens when she truly laughs. The transformation occurs during a fit of laughter, surprising everyone present. Eduardo and Beatriz, now both werewolves, become the town's main attraction, but also find each other like never before. Serra Azul becomes a famous tourist destination, known for its charismatic werewolves. Beatriz and Eduardo, accepting their new identities, live happily, enjoying life with humor and love. Rodolfo, despite his attempts, ends up reconciling with his role as a comedic villain and also finds his own redemption, accepting his place in Serra Azul's hilarious story. The life lesson? Sometimes the scariest secrets can be the funniest, and true love is the one that laughs together, no matter what form it takes. What would you do in Beatriz's shoes? Let us know in the comments. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more fun and fantastical tales.